Hi, welcome to the Real Life Magic Podcast, where we talk about the magic of our real lives. I'm Ty, and this is
Valerie, and we are back. We're so sorry that we've been gone for basically a year.
Yes.
Has it been a year or over a year?
I feel like it's been about a year.
Yeah, no. My bad. Our bad. But we are back and we plan to give you guys so much more content and roll out much more interesting things, hopefully.
Yeah. And this time we're going to do a series.
Yes. So speaking of series, this first series is called Breakups and Makeups, and we plan to roll out 4 episodes.
Yep.
Today, we're going to talk to you guys about green flags and red flags when you're starting to date someone.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's get it. Okay. So what are some examples of green flags that you like?
If you have a job.
Valid, yeah.
Or if you're working towards your own business, but that one's sketchy. It's not as simple as that because
You have the entrepreneurs who don't do anything except for sit on their butt and get money in from the government.
Yeah.
Look at me itching my hand because I'm like, I'm trying to stay PC. But
You have the self-proclaimed CEOs
yes.
who don't do anything but spend money, but they're never doing anything to bring money into their business. So it's a failed business.
Yeah.
And so you're not an entrepreneur, you're...
What are you? You're just a person without a job.
Yeah.
You're unemployed. You're not an entrepreneur, you're unemployed.
Exactly.
On the other hand, you have real entrepreneurs.
Yes, and that is a green flag. You're making your own way, and you have a vision and you're executing it.
Yeah.
Massive green flag for me.
Okay.
You're either in therapy or reading like a ton of like self-help books, and not like just the cheesy ones, but the psychology ones and all of that too.
Yeah.
Those are a few green flags. There's a lot more, but yes. What about you?
Personally, I like those green flags for sure. I feel like you either have to have a job or have to have some kind of business. I don't care if it's small. If I see that you have a business plan, doesn't have to be written out, but you have a business plan and you're taking these steps to get everything started, that's like, ooh, okay, see you. Like if I can envision you in 10 years extremely successful, that's what counts.
Right.
And then, let's see, open-minded people. Extreme green flag for me. I do not like closed-mindedness. It's very unattractive. So if I see that you are open to understanding people, you don't have to be with it, you know? You just have to understand that people are different. And that's very attractive.
Okay. I was about to say open-minded in what ways?
Yeah, just like not extremely judgmental.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel it.
Because my thing is like, I'm not cool with that. Like, I wouldn't do it,
Right.
but I'm not gonna make anyone feel bad about doing it. I'm not gonna judge it. I'd rather be open to learning about it than just be like, oh, I would never do that. They're weird. You know?
Right. Like, it may not be for me, but
Yeah.
you do you, boo-boo.
Exactly.
More power to you if it makes you happy. I love it.
Yeah, and I feel like open-minded people are more successful.
Yeah. And do you have a third one, or is that...
I'll just stick to that because, like you, I can go on and on and on about green flags. And I even want to say, like, my green flags now are different than my green flags in the past. But we'll just stop there and get into red flags.
Oh, well, I do have a question about green flags.
No, no one cares. Okay. Anyway, I'm kidding. What's your question?
Wait, so are green flags, are they different than requirements?
I would say so. So it's kind of like, well, it depends. Because I feel like a green flag can range more. So a green flag could be like, oh, they open the door for strangers. That's really sweet.
Okay.
But if they don't, it's not the end of the world, you know?
Okay. So requirements can be green flags, but green flags aren't always requirements. Yes.
Exactly. That's my personal opinion. What do you think?
No, that's solid. I think so too, because yeah, I don't require you to open doors for strangers, but if
Yeah.
you do, like,
Yeah,
I
that's
like it. That's
really
nice.
sweet. Wow. Like,
Right, you care.
yeah, you care about people, at least a little. Or you're acting like you do, either way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But okay, we can move on now.
Okay, now that I have permission to move on,
You're welcome.
let's get into red flags. So, can you define what you think red flags are?
I think red flags are things that you see and you dislike. I was going to say immediately dislike, but sometimes you learn that something's a red flag as it sits with you. Like,
Okay.
wait, does that make sense?
I think it does. So, I do get it. You're basically saying that red flags can either be seen immediately or be seen throughout time to where, like, maybe you were exposed to it more and you realize you don't like it.
Yes. Or like you can be a little bothered by it, but then yeah, as it sits with you, you don't even have to necessarily be exposed to it. Again, it just feels funny, and maybe you pay more attention to that feeling because it's not going away.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that.
But it's things that indicate bad things to come, foreshadowing of bad behavior to come, or behaviors that you won't like, to put it simply.
So, yeah, I think I would agree with that definition because I can definitely think of a good amount of times I was like, I don't really like that, but it's not that big of a deal. And then later I'm like, heck no. Nope. Like, that is the biggest red flag. So, yeah.
Fun part, examples, red flags, go.
Ooh, okay. So I will say, and I think I mentioned this in one of our past podcasts, but I will say being rude to strangers or rude to like waiters, like being extremely rude for no reason, that is a huge red flag for me because why? Like, why do you feel like you can be disrespectful to people?
Right, feels unnecessary.
Yeah, it feels like I'm about to get disrespected.
Yes, as soon as you get comfortable enough.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
like, do you think you're better? Because if so, we're not going to work out. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's definitely a red flag for me. And then being extremely irresponsible
And what was
as far as, you know, not keeping up with or knowing that you have to do something in order to have a comfortable life and not doing it. For example, not paying that bill when you know that you can and that you should, but you just decide not to. So like if you rather party than pay a bill, that's a red flag. You know,
Okay.
adulting kind of sucks sometimes, but you have to do it in order to live a more comfortable life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the type of irresponsibility that I mean.
Okay. There's a thing I heard. It was like, if you do what's hard now, your life will be easy. If you do what's easy now, your life will be hard. And that's what that makes me think of. Like,
Yeah.
paying,
Sorry, you can continue.
adulting, like, is hard, but like you said, if you do it, then everything else is smoother.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that. Now, I will say that that makes me think of how, what generation is it? Generation X. They often judge Generation Z for wanting to have more fun and, you know, move around jobs if they don't like them because they're like, you should be working hard until retirement so then you can travel later. That's the consensus usually with Generation X.
That's not what I meant.
But I don't agree with that. So it's like, I agree with that quote to a certain extent. But when it comes to like not traveling, not living your life just so you can be set up for retirement, I don't agree with that.
No. Yeah, it's definitely has a lot to do with context.
Yeah.
And no matter how you frame it, certain things can be hard. Like figuring out how to travel on like no money, hard.
Yeah, that is a difficult feat.
But then you're like worldly and like your view of the world is more rounded.
Yes.
No pun intended.
The world is flat. I don't get it.
Oh, honey,
What?
I'm leaving that
Do it.
in. But any more red flags?
Let's see. Well, yeah, honestly, I can think of a lot. Let me think of just one more. I would say that another red flag is, this is probably my red flag, but another red flag is someone not being completely enamored with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Please
and that
do
plays
share.
into obviously my red flag, but I like for someone to be really excited about me and, you know, see all the great things. And I say that not to say that like I'm so amazing, the world should be obsessed with me. It's just personally, I love a partner that's so excited about me that they want to be around me all the time and they like talk me up, things like that, especially for when the days maybe I don't feel my greatest.
Okay.
Because yeah, we want to be able to talk ourselves up and get ourselves out the rut,
Yeah.
but sometimes we need someone who loves us to do it. Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, do hold on to that. Remember that idea. Remember that thought. I will have a follow-up question about it later.
Okay. Well, that being said, what are 3 red flags that you are like, no? About?
Ooh. If you have an attitude about like opening the door for me,
Oh, yeah.
immediate red flag. Like, yeah, especially if you don't say it. Like, if you have a problem with it, also, it's damn near a red flag. But definitely, if you don't say it and you're just like sulking, it is a massive red flag.
Yeah. So passive aggressiveness.
Yes.
Yeah.
It means I am going to always have to ask you, are you okay? What's wrong? And beg you to tell me why you're upset.
That really makes me want to talk about a different topic, but we'll get into that another episode.
Right.
Okay.
Second red flag. And all of these are like super early on, like first date type things, or that one is, and so is this first few dates, I guess. If on date number 1, I'm just bundling this one all together. If the day of you don't confirm that we are still on for later,
Okay.
that's a red flag. If you want to make plans with me, expect to make plans with me the day of, like an hour early, and we don't have that kind of rapport. And if you are diehard about playing that game of who's gonna pay, you know you're gonna pay, I know you're gonna pay, but you need me to reach for my wallet to pretend like I'm going to, even though we both know I'm not. Like, that's weird to me.
I.e., guys who don't really have money.
I mean, I hear it's guys, it's still guys who are going to pay. Like, they just want me to pretend.
So, okay, I say i.e. guys who don't really have money, but that's because I personally feel like you can have money. But I personally feel like the extremely rich guys would never do that because they've never been in a state where they wanted anyone they dated to pay. So they wouldn't even want you to offer. That's an insult because they're like, why would I ever need you to pay? So I mean, not that there's anything wrong with the woman offering to
Look,
make you feel like they're bringing something to the table. This is a whole nother conversation that I really want to get into.
yes.
But we won't.
But yeah, if we both know what the standards are, or if I know that I'm going to have a problem with you if you let me pay, I do not want to pretend as though I am to put you in that situation and be like, okay, so like, are you gonna let me or not? Like, we both know what it is.
No, valid. And I know you've had experience with this, right?
Yes.
So to wrap up your red flags, how did you react in that situation and how did they react?
Honestly, it was really simple, nothing dramatic. Like, I have tried the whole, oh, do you want me to pay? And once he was like, oh no. And then I tried it one other time and he was like, well, I mean, if you want to, do you want to? Yeah, we can go half. And I was like,
If you want to.
yeah, no. In the way I felt when he was like, yeah, well, like, let's go half. It was just
Yeah.
like, it's not the type of relationship I want. And if, like, there are definitely girls out there who want that and don't mind, but it's not me. So I don't know why offer something when it's gonna make me, like, give me the ick.
No. Yeah, I think it's good that you're just like, I'm not going to offer because I don't want them to have the option of saying yes because I know it won't work out for me after. Which, yeah, if they really need you to pay for it, they should ask, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it feels a little bit like entrapment. No, entrapment. But also, if they need you to pay or want you to pay, they should not be asking me out.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
And obviously it's a preference, but I would agree. And my partner's a woman, but I definitely do think that the person asking the other out is the one that's paying. To make it simple, unless you guys have established, that this person pays for everything because they can or because they want you to be a princess and live soft life. Cool. If that's established, awesome. But if it's not, the person asking the other out should expect to pay. And if the other one does offer, cool. If not, you ask them out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like some easy rule to cover all of it.
definitely.
But what are your green flags and red flags that you find when dating?
Yes.
Like, put them in the comments below.
Please do. And I think a great idea would be also if you have any more questions about our green flags or red flags, put it below and
Yes.
maybe we'll answer it in another series.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so
Let's move on to red flag or pink flag.
okay. Oh, yeah. I think I had mentioned something being a dang near red flag. But it's like, yeah, a pink flag almost versus a red flag. And it's like something that seems bad, but needs more investigating to find
Yeah.
out if it is bad.
Yeah, or if it's something you can tolerate. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't have to tolerate anything. But personally, I feel like a good amount of relationships have pink flags. Like there's no, I mean, there might be such thing as a relationship that's just all green flags. There might be. But I feel like it's more normal to have some pink flags in there,
Yeah. Wait, but what do you mean you shouldn't have to tolerate anything?
Because I don't like to be the person that's like, hey, sometimes relationships could be a little hard. You just deal with it. I feel like if you don't want the relationship to be hard, if you don't want to be irritated, move on.
Yeah.
And I say this because I know people are like, oh, that's a pink flag. I'm done. Bye. And they're happy about it. Like they're happy to not tolerate anything they don't want to.
Okay. I mean, I would agree with that to an extent, but because you are coming together with another person that you didn't grow up with, they're going to have some quirks that might annoy you. And would say that those are things you should consider tolerating, because
I agree, but that's personal preference in my opinion.
when you say you shouldn't have to tolerate anything, is that what you mean? That like it's up to you if you do, but I can't tell you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like
Oh.
I'm not telling you to tolerate.
Okay.
You shouldn't have to do anything you don't want to do at the end of the day.
I mean, yeah, you definitely don't have to do anything you don't want.
Yeah, but if you want a long-lasting relationship, there's going to be pink flags or even red flags.
Really?
Yeah, that you either have to work on with them, you know, or be patient. So sometimes you might have to be more patient with your partner that has a pink flag or a red flag. Because if they're doing the work and you feel like you love them that much, it's worth it.
Okay. But that's when a pink flag turns into a red flag turns into a pink flag for me. If it's like, oh, I don't like that, but they're working on it. It's like the good mixed with the bad makes it pink. And eventually it'll be neutral, hopefully.
I could see that.
But okay,
You defined a pink flag, right?
yes.
Okay, and we defined red flag. So
Did we want to say our red flags? Or do we want to just move on from that?
we could just move on from that.
Why?
Do they really need to know my red flags?
Yes.
You can say your red flags.
No, they need to know your red flags. I don't think they need to know my red flags. I don't think I have any, honestly. Anyway.
Okay, we talked about red flags that we don't like. What are our personal red flags? You can go first.
Oh, I was gonna say you can
No,
go
you got
first.
this. You got it. Like,
Do I?
yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I got you. Got your back.
Anyway. Okay, I'm gonna stop stalling. Okay, so let me see my red flags. Do I have any? Okay, my red flags are, let me see.
Oh, it's taking you that long. Okay.
I know, I just don't really. Oh, okay. Maybe.
I could help you.
Okay, please do.
Okay, so red flag number 1. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I want to hear this.
Okay, first of all,
That's way better. Let's say each other's red flags.
okay.
Okay.
So you mentioned it in the past. I feel like your red flag is the fact that you think you're the perfect girlfriend. So you will downplay your problems in the relationship.
What problem?
See? There you go. I hit it on the nose. And that is a red flag because you should be able to take accountability in order to make a relationship grow and healthy. Because it's never one-sided. Ever.
But how can I take accountability when I don't do anything wrong?
You know? Delusions are a red flag. Okay. And then a second one. How many do we do?
Wow. Let's just do 2.
Okay. Ah, dang. Had a few more. Okay. So
Wow.
the second one I feel like would be if I had to pick one. Is being short a red flag? No. Okay. I would say that the second one is you're getting better. So I don't know if I should choose this.
I mean, that was a past red flag, like thinking I was the perfect girlfriend. Like,
That's true.
So-
You are getting better. So I should use another past one.
if you want, just use whichever ones you want. Oh my God.
Oh, this could be a red flag for some people. You can be a little rude, or your jokes can be a little too much at times.
Oh.
Like the threatening, you like to threaten people with violence, you know. Sometimes you say mean jokes. And I think they're funny, but you know, I've heard some people don't. So,
Wait, what people?
the people who don't think being threatened is funny.
I mean, I'm joking.
You are. But then also, she like, even if she sees someone's offended, she'll double down on it. Like, I think for some people, that could be a pretty big red flag.
Okay, yeah, I can see that one.
Yeah. And that one's current, so
Wow,
that's
I would say it's
good.
an acquired taste.
I would agree. I mean, I'm not saying it's a red flag. I'm saying that some people might think of it as a red flag.
I don't know. It sounds like you're saying it's a red flag.
To some people, yes.
Okay.
Now, what are two of my red flags?
Okay. Oh, I got these on deck.
Oh, okay.
Kidding.
Well, I'm glad you pay attention to me. I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Okay. First one, I say not very expressive with your emotions.
What? Did you not just hear me express my opinions?
Those you're good at.
I don't
It's
see the difference.
emotion. Oh, and that may be the origins of your red flag. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. I feel offended that feeling something right there.
Though I will say, not very expressive with softer emotions. And when
Yeah, okay.
like you're very good with anger, very good at expressing that one.
You've only seen me angry like twice. What do you mean?
Yeah, but it's like so obvious on your face. Like it is.
True, I try to hold back anger because I don't like expressing that because I don't like to make someone feel threatened or uncomfortable. But if I feel it, you can see it no matter how hard I try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's almost comical because like I almost think she's joking when like I see it. Like it's so obvious on your face. Like I thought you were like putting it on. Like you were exaggerating the angry look for joking purposes.
Yeah.
But no, it's just showing so readily on your face. It's just very expressive.
Yeah. So now that I think about it, I realize that when I'm around people and I get upset, it is a mixture of trying to smile and being upset. So that's probably why it looks so comical because I'm trying to look friendly when I'm absolutely livid. It's like, yeah.
But like a huge smile, like
Yeah, I'm trying real hard. And it happens so rare that I don't really know what it looks like.
anyway, we're gonna breeze past that.
I get irritated, I don't get angry. Very different things. And there's levels of irritation for me. So there's like, you're irritating me. And there's, I need you to shut up because you're irritating me. And then there's like, like this is borderline making me like upset, but I'm really irritated and don't really want to be around you. Yeah.
Oh wait, okay, so what was it with Liza?
It was, I'm about to go off on her. That's
what anger.
That's what anger is, yeah.
Like clutching the chair in anger type.
So that's the first time that she's ever seen me holding back anger because she's only seen me like twice, right?
Anger, yeah, like
Yeah, holding back anger.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first time was when I was with, I wouldn't say an ex. Some people say an ex, but I would say when I was talking to someone,
dating.
Yeah. So they did a lot of things that not only irritated me, but made me angry because they were like a repeat offender too. So
Just weird.
no, and it never
Weird
made
stuff.
sense. It never made sense, and I hate when things don't make sense. It drives me crazy. So,
So weird.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
and we're at my condo, and she was there with her boyfriend, and it was a completely normal moment turned into something that didn't make any sense. They did something, they didn't want to tell me because they were embarrassed, and then they didn't want me to see, they broke something. They didn't want me to see it either.
Yeah.
And they were like going out the way to make sure I didn't see it, and wouldn't even just apologize. And
Yeah, like to the point where like locking doors.
it was weird. It was really childish. That's what it was.
Yes.
It was like a little kid that broke their mom's vase.
Yeah.
And like,
It was so weird.
yeah.
Like, I thought they were like messing around or something.
It was comical. Like out from the outside, it was like, what the heck is
like,
going
what is
on?
going on?
Yeah. And that's not the first time. Well, that was the weirdest time that they did that. But that wasn't the first time they broke something and didn't just like apologize and say like, oh, I'll replace it. Simple.
Yeah.
So by this time, especially in front of company, and you're acting really weird, I was livid because I was like, what's going on? Why are you this way? Like,
No, but my boyfriend at the time was like, I think we should go.
yeah.
And I'm like, you're like, nah, this is, everyone here is joking. But like, yeah, no, I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
I was trying so hard to just breathe and let them be weird by themselves, but I couldn't.
So weird. Oh.
But yeah.
So back to the original red flags. She doesn't express emotions except for like anger, irritation. And the thing is, those emotions are typically there to protect softer emotions like hurt and anxious and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would say one of your red flag, but is like, yeah, diving deeper into your emotions and expressing them. But she has been working on that.
Yeah, and to be fair to myself, I do have a hard time with it, but I also have to feel safe to express it. So I have, and I can express all the emotions.
Yeah.
And I can be super cuddly, and I can just cry and tell you everything I'm feeling. But if that happens and you show me that I'm not safe, I don't show it. Or if I don't feel like we're in that kind of relationship, I don't show it.
Okay.
But I am working on it. And I'm trying to be a little more expressive. As you can see on this podcast, you know, I've expressed definitely 2 emotions.
Were they anger and irritation?
Oh, shit.
Okay, but
And then the second red flag.
second red flag. Let me see.
I know, it's hard.
I was gonna say commitment issues.
But I've never had commitment issues.
Really? Really?
Well, it depends on what you mean by commitment issues.
Okay. Oh, you know, now I guess can't say commitment issues are a red flag, or not as defined by me, because that's not something you'll really like. That's something you interpret. So
Yeah. So, like, personally, I feel like for me, people think I have commitment issues because I'm very vocal about not committing to people who I don't see a future with.
Oh.
But there's always serious reasons why I don't see a future with them. I don't believe in committing to people over and over again, seriously, because I think that's toxic in itself, like needing a boyfriend or a girlfriend every year. To me, I think that's because you can't be alone. But
Okay.
when I found someone that I really loved, I commit to them over and over again.
Okay.
For example, my current partner. Never had commitment issues with them. I probably should have, but no, they're great now. We're great now. But I have no problem staying loyal and committed. Is that what you meant?
Not exactly. So I would classify the red flag more of like, you hadn't had a relationship up until like recently.
But is that a red flag?
I mean, yeah, never having a single relationship all the way into your like mid-20s.
I feel like that's normal because there's a lot of, even virgins that don't have a relationship till they're ready to find someone they want to marry. It depends on your culture.
That's true. But like, I mean, given American, like, on average, most Americans have like what, at least one red flag? Have at least one
Serious relationship?
relationship. Not even like serious, but to the point where it's like, you've called them your girlfriend or boyfriend. So like, I don't know, for me,
Sorry, continue.
so for me, if I were dating and I'm dating someone and they're like, yeah, I've never had a girlfriend, then I'd be like, ooh. It would be a red flag because it's like, do you have commitment issues? Do you just keep dating people who aren't good for you, but like keep picking that same type of person? Like, I don't know, but there's something here.
So I could see that. Now, I have called people my boyfriend
Okay.
when I was younger, but when I got older, I realized that it was, we have opposite opinions about that. I feel like it's a red flag when people call everyone that they date their boyfriend and girlfriend, or call people
Same.
that they date their boyfriend and girlfriend, but they're not serious with them.
Wait,
I
okay.
believe in only calling people your boyfriend and girlfriend, giving that person that title if you know you're serious about them. That is my personal opinion, because I just don't like the idea of giving someone a title just because you feel that's the trend or that's what people do. Oh, I like this person, so they're my boyfriend and girlfriend. No, are you willing to commit to this person? Do you see a long-term relationship with this person? That to me is a boyfriend or girlfriend. And when I was younger, it was just me trying to be like everyone else. Oh yeah, I like this person. They're my boyfriend.
Wait, but what's the marker for serious? What?
You see something long-term with them.
So it doesn't have to be like marriage or anything, but it could just like a longer relationship.
Yeah. And again, I definitely see what you're saying about that being a red flag.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, I don't see it as a red flag because of the reasons.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I don't like to be loose with titles.
Okay.
And that goes into like, I'm also trying to work on calling someone my friend when they're just an acquaintance.
Same.
Because I feel like that's a boundary people have to have as well. So that's how I feel about boyfriend and girlfriend. In the past, I don't count that because
Okay.
when I look back, I'm like, I just liked them and we didn't have any commitment and it wasn't long term.
Okay.
I was dating them. I was talking to them.
Wait, when you say didn't have any commitment, what do you mean?
I was a child. I was a child and it was like 3 months
Okay.
or 4 months of talking to them. And I called them my boyfriend because that was like, that's normal. You like someone, they like you. That's your boyfriend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see that. That makes sense given
Yeah.
like context.
Yeah, it's definitely context. And to your point, if someone's like, I've never even tried having one, or it really depends on the reason.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that like for red flags, at least for me, I don't really I don't know. Okay, for red flags, it's very much a quickly formed opinion. Like, if I don't know you, I don't trust you. I don't automatically think you're a liar, but I don't really trust you. It doesn't really matter if I can trust you or not at this point because you're so new, your words don't have to hold much weight.
Yeah,
So,
I get that completely.
So if you say like, oh, I've never had a boyfriend or girlfriend, I'll hear that. And that's the thing I'm determining red or green flag, right?
Yeah.
And then you can say, oh, it's because, and then you can explain it. But for me, if we just met, that explanation holds little weight because the action is like, oh, I've never committed to anybody, you know?
So to your point, I feel like my current partner did have a hard time with that, being my first serious relationship. And like 4 years older than me too, and they've had a few serious relationships. So the way they're seeing is probably the way they saw it is probably the way you saw it. You know, like, so they can't commit. Does that mean they can't commit to me? Blah, 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 all this stuff. And it took a little while for her to realize that that wasn't the case. And my reasoning is very different than what people would assume. And I'm not saying I'm like, I have the perfect reasoning, because low key, like, I would probably still say the same thing, but like you mentioned, picking bad partners or picking bad people to date was also my trend.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was just dating and I wasn't taking it seriously, I let that happen.
Yeah.
But that, especially at this age, I'm 26, that would be a red flag if I was still saying, like, I've never been in a serious relationship.
Yeah.
But I've dated.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't commit to any of them because they had problems. And it's like, why at this age are you still picking those people?
Right. Like,
Yeah.
why are you picking people that you know have problems, or do they not have problems and you're the one with problems?
Yeah. Or are you picking them because you don't want to be in a serious relationship?
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, we all go through our stages when we do that. I mean, I guess not all, but I have.
And I mean, there was someone that I did want to be in a serious relationship with, but they moved countries.
Oh, yeah.
So I did have that possibility right there.
Yeah.
And because that didn't work out, I decided to let myself just be a little more free after and not be so picky until I found someone who I saw something in.
Okay.
So that's another reason. But yeah.
Solid. So,
But yeah, that still counts as a red flag. I just had to explain it.
yeah. And I think that's kind of what red flags are. You don't have a lot of context for them because this is a new person. It's a quick judgment of this knowledge you have of them that you now have to know. You have to decide if you think it's okay to take a gamble on or not.
So, in other terms, you have to, it's a red flag. But the more you get to know them and the more you learn about it, it can turn into a pink flag. Or maybe even a green.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. To wrap up the red flags, do we think that someone's red flags can turn pink flags into red flags? So like, if I'm really insecure, I can see something very simple as a red flag.
Oh.
Like you texting, okay, I got this one. So maybe you texting your friend all day, your best friend all day, can seem like a red flag to me because of my past experiences or my self-esteem issues or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because there was a book I read. Oh, I remember. The Untethered Soul and Laws of Human Nature. Side note, if you ever watched our podcast the first time around,
Yes.
I
Obsessed.
never stopped. Yeah, absolutely obsessed. But I never stopped talking about the book, The Big Leap. It was such an impactful, it had such an impact on me and how I live my daily life. Like, I love it. I recommend it to everyone. I love it.
Yeah, she does. And I still till this day have not read it.
Can you believe that?
I keep promising different people that I'll read the books. I get roped into another book and then I just skip the other ones. I do that a lot with the ones she suggests. I don't know why, because I feel like I would like those books better.
Right.
But anyway, read The Big Leap, okay?
Yes, but actually, I have a new favorite book. It is called Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. So you know how there was a whole craze with 48 Laws of Power?
Yeah.
Same author, but
Robert Greene has a lot of great stuff.
he does. I think 48 Laws of Power is like the biggest like craze. Everyone knows that one. And honestly, I think that when people try to read it out the blue, like you don't really grasp a lot of the concepts. You need to prep a little bit. Anyway,
One of the books you have to also reread, probably. Honestly, reread them all, but
Oh, absolutely.
but continue.
My bad. Got a little sidetracked. Anyway. No, but Laws of Human Nature and The Untethered Soul talk about how you see all of the events of life through the film of, or through the lens of your own insecurities and experiences that you've had in the past.
Yeah.
So very rarely, without putting in a lot of effort and practice, do you see events for what they actually are, because we're all so self-centered, which isn't a bad thing. It's pretty natural. But anyway, with some practice, you can start to see events more clearly.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that being said, yeah, you definitely, your red flags can turn somebody's green or neutral flags red because you're seeing it distorted. You're seeing the events through a distorted lens.
Yeah, and as we know, and as probably a good amount of people know now, what you think is reality.
Exactly.
So if you think that this is shady, if you think that they are doing something that you've experienced in your past, or they're doing something you saw in the movie, I don't know, or you let your imagination go wild, then that shapes what happens in the relationship. That shapes how you act towards them.
Yes.
How you
absolutely.
move through life, through your relationship. And most likely you guys will
break up.
I want to say have problems, but you'll probably break up.
Have problems and then break up.
Yeah, because if you think that something shady's going on with them and their best friend because they're texting all the time, then you're gonna act like it. And sometimes I would say you would even cause it.
Yeah, because there is this idea that like, oh, they've already accused me of this thing that I wasn't doing, and maybe I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Like maybe I was tempted, but I didn't because like I value how they feel.
It's kind of like sorry, not to interrupt
Oh, no
you,
worries, go.
but it's kind of like that kid in school that's seen as the problem child, and they constantly get told that they're the problem child. They get treated like they're the problem child.
Yeah.
So eventually they just live up to what people think about them.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, see, I knew it. Like,
Yeah, because all these things that people like reprimand you for, like, are oftentimes things that are tempting to do, but you stop yourself from doing it because you don't want said consequences. But if you're already getting the consequences, you might as well.
just do it.
Right.
You know?
Might as well eat the cookie.
Yeah, not saying to do it, but that's probably how a good amount of people feel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that pretty much wraps up red and green flags from when you're talking and you first start dating. Next week, we're going to get into being in the relationship.
Yes, and the ups and downs that you'll go through in that said relationship.
Exactly.
You know, like we said, from perfect to bad.
Exactly.
But for now, we'll let you guys go. But we do hope that you have a magical day and a magical week. Bye.
See you next week. Okay.